go. Let's go.
Now.
I'm
So,
all about it. Like I
okay,
tell it to myself. So.
you're good. No, I want to hear. So, okay, so why don't we start real quick? Tell me who you are. Tell me how you got started in knitting. Like, I want to hear about you. Who is Willie?
Copy that. My name is Willie Smith. I am a father of two, a boy and a girl, Maximus and Penelope. They're my life. I've been married to my wife Alicia. We're going on what 6 years now? 6 years come February 21st. So it's been a blessing. We've been knowing each other for almost for a decade, over a decade now. And I'm out here in Michigan right now. I'm a training manager for Stanley Steamer. I've been with them for about 5 years. And I've been knitting since 2008. And I've been a teacher for a good portion of my life as well, teaching math, tutoring, and things like that. And I believe we can change a lot of people from the inside out using string made of different things. And I just think it's amazing. And I've had this vision. I've been at it ever since. And my vision is just helping people realize their potential to do great things. I just didn't think it would be for yarn for me. I thought I'd be in four walls teaching polynomials and how to like make people help kids convert a certain number between like fractions, percentages, and decimals. But now I'm teaching folks how to like make loops together and put some on your head, or put some on your arms, or put some on your feet, or put some on your neck. And there's so much that can be cultivated from this craft, this skill. And I always tell people, you can create anything that you want, but the only thing that stands between you and what you want is the skill set. That's it. If you're willing to learn the skill set, you can have whatever it is you want. You get you figure out like, and you have enough experience in the game, you can literally look at something and be like, I can make that. I know how that was constructed, and like literally reverse engineer it, and you can make it exactly the way you want. And I've been doing that and showing that through my own experience, because it's all about credibility. It's all about what it looks like before it's what it is. I have to make people believe who I am and what I'm about before before they begin to start trusting me with their intention. So
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah. So you're changing lives by helping people learn this skill set, right? Because we see things and we think, oh, I can never do that, and you're just like, no,
Right.
you totally can. And
Totally.
creating a sense of purpose and a sense of accomplishment and the ability, giving people the ability to do something that's meaningful, and then to be able to walk away with something on their head, something on their feet. Like you're cultivating a really strong sense of accomplishment for people through multiple stages of knitting, not just your loops. There's multiple things in your knitting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's so many other things. Like people don't understand when they hear when they say, "Oh, I know how to knit." I'm like, "Yo, you just said you know how to do an umbrella's worth of stuff." Inside knitting, there's reading patterns, there's designing, there's making things, there's making certain things, there's making certain things out of certain things. Like that's all in the umbrella. If you say you know how to knit, like you saying that you know how to do a lot of stuff. And what a lot of people don't really realize is knowing how to do knits and pearls is one thing. That's one skill set inside the umbrella. Reading a pattern, totally different skill set. If you don't know how to read a pattern, it's almost like you're reading hieroglyphics. It's another language. And a lot of people, they give up that way. And I'm like, okay, hold on. Let's learn how to do the skills when you know how to do. And I kind of like try to differentiate what a skill is and what a technique is, right? To make a hat is a skill.
Mm-hmm.
The skills, like the techniques that you need for this particular one, provisional cast on, knit, pearl for the rib, brioche, pearl stitches, gauge, things like that. All of those little techniques cultivate themselves and transform it into a skill set. Like that's what the skill is. It's almost like Captain Planet, right? With your powers combined, like you put all the powers together, it's Captain Planet. But you put all these techniques together, you got something that you can put on your head in a minute. You know what I mean? In a couple days time. And that's what I'm looking to like show people. And that's what all my videos are about. That's what all of my, my posts are about. it's not necessarily about like selling stuff, but I always believe that there's no such thing as a cheap hobby. No such thing. There's no such thing. So like there's got to be a way that like what I do sustains itself. And that's what I do that for. I thought I was gonna go into like do like business, but it was like I'm not really about the business because like I'm becoming more and more of a man of faith, and like it teaches us that like if you look out for more people than yourself, it'll all work out to where you're gonna be okay.
Mhm.
I dove headfirst into that. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I'll help somebody, I'll help everybody because I know in the end I'll be all right. All I need is what I need. I'm good. But it's a higher calling, it's a higher purpose, and that's why like I feel like this is something worth pursuing long term. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah. There's so many different pieces. I honestly had never thought about the fact that if you can knit, there are so many different skill sets within that. Reading patterns and deconstructing ideas and designing, because I don't know, for me that's kind of comforting. I have a lot of friends who have difficulty reading different types of patterns. I've I've done a little bit of designing, but that's not my forte, but it is for other people. But there's just so many different skills even in this field, and you are really encouraging for people, and you walk people through. I loved you had like a hat, I think, with the Punisher symbol on the front. You're like, this is just duplicate stitch. Here's how you do this. This is a really simple skill. You can totally do this. And breaking things down into manageable bites for people is really, really empowering.
Yes, ma'am. And that's what teaching is. That's what I took from like teaching math, because like, yeah, you have like this giant like quadratic equation with like this super scary template, you know what I mean? X equals, B squared minus 4. I'm like, yo, like people look at that and like they freak out. I'm like, bro, small bites eat the elephant. Small bites.
Yeah.
Let's figure it out. What's B? Oh, it's this. Okay, put that in there. What's C? Oh, it's this. Put that up in there. And it's the same thing with knitting, you know what I mean? Oh, I don't know how to use double points. Okay, cool. All you got to do is put these needles in here and just let them rest. You're still only dealing with two needles at a time. The other ones is just kicking it. When we're talking about cables, people are like, oh, the cables look difficult. I'm like, listen, it's nothing. Come on. If you're looking at a 6-stitch cable, you got 3 and 3. A little bit of information. Front cables lean to the left, back cables lean to the right. Look at it. Which way is those cables going? Oh, it's going to the right. It's a back cable. Done. Let's go. That's it. You win. You just break it down into small pieces and just rebuild it back up. That's what design is. That's what reverse engineering is. That's what it all is. You just got to figure out what you want. That's X, right? Just like math. It's math. You know what you want. X. Okay. Find X. Work backwards. And you'll get it. You'll get whatever you need. But you still need the skill set to make that happen. That's what I'm trying to tell people. That's it. That's it. Let's go.
Exactly it. There was a day when you posted on Instagram when you reverse engineered the CC beanie, and you were like at the store and you're like, okay, this is a brim, or this is the ribbing, and then this is the brioche and stuff. And I sat there, and I've knit a CC beanie before, but to me there was something about the way you presented it. I was like, I have to do this like right now. I have to go home. I have to make this. And I went home and I made it the next day. And then I spent the next week, and then I did this one by following your video. I know how to do this, but it was so nice to have you with me. I felt like you were with me in that process too. And it was really.
And that's what I want for people. You know what I mean? Like people feel like this craft is like something that you got to do by yourself. This craft unifies people. It brings people together. Like, somebody could build you up somewhere else. I'm looking to surround myself with people that are like light years ahead of me, because I'm going to get better in that regard. You know what I mean? And I'm going to just keep putting myself out there and let them know I'm an encouraging voice. I'm on Facebook groups where people are like needing help. I'm stammering, trying to like get more answers out to people as fast as I can, because like they're looking for that. And like so much courage to put yourself out there and like reach out and like, I need help with this. Like that's such a courageous, generous act. You know what I mean? And I respect it so much that like I wish I can give them as much as I can about it. And that's why like I'm pushing for these classes that I want to push. But at the same time, like, I always saw like, what I'm saying, I understand there's money involved, right? We're going to spend money regardless. My thing is, I need people to see the value in spending money with me and learning the skills that they need to learn, because I'm going to save them so much time on the back end. You don't have to decipher everything. I'm going to give you everything that you need to make anything. It is simple, but like they need to see the value. And I tell people, I was like, hey, DM me and we'll set up a time. Give me 15 minutes. Try before you buy. You know what I'm saying? Try me out. I'll show you. People are like, oh, like I just put a video out today with the tubular cast on versus the long tail cast on Instagram, and we were like, oh, well, that looks difficult. Somebody that like her name is Akira. She actually like really started with me on like the Instagram journey when I first started. She was one of the first one to reach out to me, and I was like, sis, give me 5 minutes, give me 10. I got you. I can let you know this stuff in 10. So like I'm just about that life and just showing people how quick it can be. It doesn't have to be an 18-minute YouTube video or a 10-minute YouTube video and all of this stuff where like you see my face. If you see any of my YouTube videos, you rarely see my face. You see my hands because you're here to learn the skill, not to hear me talk. It's not a podcast. It's a tutorial. There's differences. So I'm very cognizant of that.
So how has the response been to you offering to teach people these skills? Have people been taking you up on these offers that you have?
Not as much as I thought they would. I had like one lady, and her name's Pam. Shout out to Pam. I had started her out, and she had like we actually made this beanie together. She wanted to learn how to do cables. And that was another thing that like I was pushing for people too. Not only am I going to show you how to do this, I'm going to do it with you. So you can see real time what it needs to look like. If there is something that doesn't look the same as mine, let's figure that out. We're learning as we go. You know what I mean? I was offering like 1-hour classes. I partnered with a couple of yarn companies to push like the classes and stuff like that. And I just know it's a matter of time. I'm not very like impatient about it. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna keep going out there because like I feel like I'm still trying to build this credibility. And like as a teacher, as somebody that says, "Oh, I can show you how to do this," there's a lot of skepticism behind it. He's like, "Oh, like people like to like really just sit back and watch and see what other people do. And if enough people jump on, enough influential people, endorse that person, then they come." You know what I mean? It's like the bandwagon kind of deal. And I get it, totally get it. It's not going to stop me from doing what I'm doing. I do have ways of like making sure like the craft sustains itself. Like, I'm putting a beanie out. Like I'm blessed enough that like it sells in a couple of days or it sells the same day. That stuff's cool. Or I'm getting commissions from somebody. I just got a message not too long ago from one of my people I went to high school with. He's like, "Hey man, how do I make an order?" Somebody just posted on like I made like a set for like a dad, the son, and the daughter of the CC beans with all matching and everything like that. So the buzz is getting out there. I know it'll happen in due time. I just want to make sure that, I'm humble and I'm showing what I can do, and I'm not sounding like I'm desperate, like, "Come be in my class, come do this. I can show you." Like, you'll know when you need to make the decision, I'm here. Let's go.
Yeah. So who would you say then are sorry, my dog needs to go outside real quick. Hang on one second.
That's okay. That's okay. Dogs need to go. Dogs need to do their thing.
This is my spot where I work, and she sits on my bed and watches me work all day. And now she's like, "I'm done, Mom. Sorry."
Gotta go.
So who would you say when you're considering teaching these skills, who is the audience that you, or who is the kind of the person that you picture as like the ideal person that would want that you are catering to specifically for the skills that you're teaching?
Okay, so the people that I know I'm looking for, it's a very niche group. People who know yarn, who know the value of a merino wool over an acrylic, right? No disrespect to nobody like who uses either one. I started there. I got boxes of it in my basement. I am not like averse to that, you know what I mean? But those people who are looking to have, they're very like goal oriented. Like, I want to learn this skill. I want to know more about it. My time is precious. I don't want to spend it unnecessarily trying to decipher something when I know there are people out there like me. There's lots of other people out there like that, that know this craft and are able to break it down to me and literally compress that time, give me hours in 1 hour. They find that very, very valuable. And I definitely cater to those folks, but I've turned no one away.
Yeah.
No one, anybody can get this. No problem. I got you. You can be super duper advanced, but I always think of it like, like the tiers, right? People who are like been in the game, they've been doing this craft for like years, umpteen years. They're certified in like the knitting thing and all that. I'll never see them. They got their own thing. They're like light years ahead of me. I'll never see them. They'll see me, won't even know I exist. That's cool. That's fine. But there's the other tiers, like the people who are just starting. That group is massive, massive. I could stay there and live there forever and not see the same person twice. That's how big it is. So I'm cool with that. And also people who want to walk that journey with me. I'm catering to those kinds of folks too. So yeah, they're definitely ideal, but I've turned no one away.
Yeah. So really kind of like the person you feel like that would probably respond to you the most is the person who maybe has some basic skills, but wants to take their knitting to the next level, I would say, for sure. And wants somebody to do that with them, that wants that one-on-one attention, like the tutoring that you were talking about, instead of like, let me go sit in a class with 100 people. You like the people who you feel like would respond to you are like, I want somebody to sit with me and really walk me through it as an individual for my goals, my dreams, my hopes, my struggles. Exactly.
Yes, that's exactly right. And like and I know that right there does a plethora of things. It builds rapport, it builds trust, it builds credibility, it builds all of those things. So the next time that they see me, they're always going to draw back on that experience. Like my homegirl Pam, she'll always she was deathly afraid of double pointed needles. You see on her Instagram right now, it's littered with double pointed needles. She is popping off hats like hotcakes. She is zipping. And I'm just like, that's what I'm talking about. And if I could do that for way more people, we're literally going to disrupt the game. Like the CCB crusade that I'm on, if we can just get 5%, 1% of like the community who looks to go to like stores to buy their own stuff, if they knew how to make their own stuff, that's a shift. Huge shift. Huge shift. And like, it's the skills that make that happen. The skills are going to open the gate for more learning, for more discovery, for more adventure, whatever they want. You can find what you want in this craft. And that's what I'm looking to show people. But I just gotta keep knocking at it, keep grinding. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. So I'm curious because I hear so much about connection and empowering people and all these really great words that I'm picturing. I'm wondering, who did that for you, and how has knitting united you with some people in your life? Because we want to pay it forward what's been done with us.
Sure. So when I first started back in 08, it was my college friend. She actually asked me to like help me walk her through a sweater, which I thought was like the biggest ironic thing. She was all like, could you help me make this sweater? And I was like, me? Yo, that's what's up. But I'm forever grateful to her. So like whatever she needs, I got her. But the person that I followed a lot through YouTube through the years was Stacey Perry from Very Pink Knits. Her flicking method, that's what I do. Like I do that because of her. I keep my videos very short because of her. The format that she has everything in there is what I use. But like I'm just so inspired because there were just so many people, not just the knitting, that have given me so much. And like I know I'll spend the rest of my life trying to give back just a little bit. So if this craft here can put me on a platform that allows me to give like that, I'm all for it. Like I have like tons of yarn. I have this vision of like, I'm gonna buy like a ton of like knit picks, fixed needles, start making kits, or just start making like care packages, you know what I mean? Just so like people can really know the love, because like even though the concept of love is intangible, the manifestation of it is real. So when people see what I'm using to, like, you know, as a token of my appreciation to take care of you, they see, like, you know, got like some over here. You see the skein of the naked hand dyed yarn, naked yarn that can be hand dyed, 100% merino wool, superwash, along with like the knit pick circulars with the notions, and be like, you know what I'm saying, just ship it off to you, and you show them that, it's like, man, he really about that life. And that's what people need to see, and that's gonna ever, like, you know, strengthen that rapport, and get more people to feel like, yeah, I need to follow this guy. Like, this guy's really looking out for people. He's really not trying to like sell stuff, because we all have like this sense of like, you're trying to sell me something, aren't you? Mm-hmm. You're trying to get me, you know, and that's never the feel that I ever wanted. Like, you know what I mean? I never put like a price on my post. If you're really interested, you'll DM me, and we'll make it happen. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need, like, this is not like a billboard. Like, I'm showing you what I can do. You can go one of two ways with me. I can show you how to do it. And the CC beanie that I made here cost way less than the one that I did. You can see the YouTube video that I had. The one that I bought was like 16, 17 bucks. This yarn was 10.
Right.
Come on now. Right. It was 10 in a couple days. Come on.
Yep.
If we want to talk money. So you can go one of two ways. You can either learn how to do it with me, and it basically teach a man to fish, or you can just buy the product if you're just going to buy the product anyway. If you want to support local makers, small business, this and that, it's a win-win either way. So
definitely. So there's education too, right? That you're sharing, that like, even if people maybe are not even necessarily interested in learning about knitting, they're still learning about wool, they're still learning about the value of handmade, they're still learning about these things, so then they can support the people who are also handmaking like you as well.
Yes, ma'am. And that's what I'm saying, because like I said, I work for Stanley Steamer, and there's a lot of people who, like, when I train, I'm giving them like this bigger extra piece of an element when it comes to fiber. You know what I mean? When we're talking about synthetic fibers, and like why they smell like plastic, like burning plastic, I was like, because it is plastic.
Yep.
You didn't know that? Like, we're like, oh, like, how come I can't use this on this wool carpet or this and that, or this wool rug? I was like, well, look at, like, do you know like how wool is, you know, made into this? Like, microscopically, we start talking about micron count. We start talking about certain types of, like, you know, like the guard hairs and stuff like that. And like, people are like mind blown. Like, how do you know so much about this when you just clean carpet? I was like, bro, you don't even know. You don't even know about your boy. Come in my office real quick. I have like my hats all like locked up. Like, you made all of these? You know what I mean? Like, and people just want to know more, because like when you show them, man, like the doors just open up. It's a whole nother universe for them.
It's true. So what would kind of your dream be if you could have anything and you were looking like 5 years down the road? What would this look like for you?
Man, this is exactly what I'm pushing for. You know what I mean? Because it's crazy how you say that, because I have a 5-year plan.
Okay.
It's on my son's birthday, July 3rd, 2025. Got made it back to 2025. Like, I'm looking to be where I want to be, and here's where I want to be. I want to be. I don't want to be like a number one in like a company or something like that. I've always considered myself like best supporting actor. I'll make you look good. How about that? We win. I'll make you look good. Best supporting actor, number 2, all day. You know what I mean? But being like a number 2 in like a company, or like being like a knitting teacher, just like Stacey Perry, from Very Pink Knit, like have a YouTube channel, and we're talking about stuff, and it's just like a vlog, and like just like YouTube videos of just being like around life and seeing this and that, and like how it relates to knitting, and basically making a living off of that. You know what I mean? I've heard a lot of like my mentors say, you know, if you can have a skill that's so valuable, people are willing to trade money for it, you've made it. That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going.
There you go. I love that you have that. I love that you have a 5-year plan. I love that you have ideas and dreams, and I love that you have mentors. That's amazing. Yes. Tell me about your mentors.
Well, I mean, they're not necessarily like people like I know like per se, but like I consume a ton of content on YouTube. We're talking like Eric Thomas, Seth Godin, just to name a couple, Denzel Washington, people like that, just like those kinds of people. He, especially like Denzel Washington, like he always like has like one at a college speech where he was making a speech. He was like, "Don't strive to make a living, strive to make a difference." I was like, "Yo, that's it. That's it." You know what I mean? And like again, the more people that you impact, Eric Thomas talks about it a whole lot too. The more people that you impact, you know what I mean, they'll be clamoring just to try to like help you out and won't want anything in return because of the type of stuff that you've given them that was so intangible that changed their life at a difficult time. To them that's priceless. That's amazing. It's my man Seth Godin, shipping creative work, the practice. This is marketing. I just got done like, listening to both of those audiobooks back to back, 2 days, gone. I was on it. I was in it, like just deep. He just talks about all that kind of stuff, being generous, not trying to hustle people. It's not about that. It's not about the money. It's about what you can do for them. And the money will keep coming because all they have to see is the value. And when you're doing something generous, when you're putting stuff up and you're shipping it or you're making something for people, if you don't share it, it doesn't count. I'm sharing everything because I need it to count. I need it to work for what I want. And what I want is what everybody in this community wants, to make better things. So it's about.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love, like, I feel like you and I are kindred spirits. Like, I really do, because like the concept that you have of just wanting to sit with people and elevate people and empower people, and like, because I've met a lot of like big name knitters and stuff, and I know that for me, what always made me feel amazing was when they would treat me as if I were important too, if I were important in the industry or in that moment or things like that. Like I remember Franklin Habit, I met him at Stitches West, and he was in line for a hot dog, and he was so nice, and he was talking to me, and he turned his entire body attention to me and was asking me questions about what I was wearing. And I had my camera, and he was a photographer. Tell me about your photography. And he was so empowering, and that made me feel like I could go do something amazing. And that's what you're doing with people. You're spending, you're wanting to do this by spending time with people, focused on them as an individual and valuing them as an individual. And that is the kind of thing that makes people feel empowered to go do amazing things.
It's the truth. It's the truth. Time is something that we can never get back.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say like, time is money. I believe that to a good degree. Now, if we want to talk about YouTube videos, especially like people like us, like, like we're parents, we got like jobs, we got things going on, and we want to try to like learn how to do this on the side just so, it can calm some nerves down, or you probably doing like a bona fide side hustle like me, and you go to this YouTube video and you try to learn how to do a certain thing, and it takes 18 minutes. Right. I'm like, listen, I carved out 15 and I want to get some needles moving. But I got to watch this video. And then by the time I have to come back and I carve out that more time, whatever I watch, I lost. So when I'm talking about valuing people, I'm valuing their time. My videos should not be more than 10 minutes if it's a tutorial. Nah, if it's going to be over 10 minutes, it's a knit along. Look at all my videos. If it's like 20 minutes, it's a knit along. Like 20 minutes, I can show you how to make a square. It's online. If you want to know how to like, do like a brioche hat or something like that, it's about 35, 40 minutes. Because, brioche is a little different with the decreases and the increases. We got to really break that down. But when we talk about like knitting or duplicate stitch, I got something on my YouTube video, the duplicate stitch wrap. Check that out. You'll smile the whole time. I rapped about it. It's a minute long. These are the same amount of times that commercials have. Yeah. You know what I mean? Infomercials. I'm thinking about that too. People, you only have 7 seconds. You got 7 seconds to really grab somebody. And if you can't grab them in that 53 seconds that you got after that, you lost them. I'm very cognizant of that. People can't get that time back. So with the time that they're blessing me with, because it is truly a blessing to bless me with your time, the privilege of the time, I got to make something happen with that. Big time. So I'm all about it.
Oh, you're making my heart happy right now. Like, you really are. You really are. I just love this energy. I love how wonderful you are. And that sounds cheesy, but I just love
I
how
appreciate you.
much
Thank you.
energy and
Thank you.
how like a blessing. Like you are a blessing. Absolutely. And I'm so excited to see what you do. And so you asked me a question earlier, and I want to know what you think. Where do you think knitting is going from where it is right now?
I don't know. I feel like it's very much tied to like the way of the world. And like this is like, as hard as it is for me to say, like with all like these lockdowns and like these quarantines and everything, like people who knit, this is it. This is holy grail time. I ain't gotta go nowhere. We're off. I can stay home. I can work from home. Time. You ain't gotta see the back of the house. You can see the knit room. You see the closet, like the shelf just made the shelf. You can see over there. Let's go. So like, I thought this was just like an amazing time. But
Yeah.
like, I I I what I see is that like knitting in the art form is becoming politicized, which scares the mess out of me. You know what I mean? Because like I only thought like if it was gonna really get to politics, I thought it was only gonna go like as far as like, oh, you use acrylic, oh you, but like you see where like been there, still there sometimes. But because I'm trying to get people to understand, you know what I mean, when we talk about like quality of fiber, like you gotta think about what's gonna last longer, you know what I mean? Like sheep have this on their bodies outside. They're doing fine. You know what I mean? Like it makes sense. But but what that can easily like eke into is like socioeconomic status and da, 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 da. And I'm just like, I'm super scared of that. What I would like to see and what I'm trying to what I'm looking to do, what I'm working to do is get more skills in people's minds and more techniques so they can make and actualize what they want to do and they can make their own choices because that kind of activity is going to really shake up this community and therefore put out a ripple effect everywhere else. That's what I'm looking to do. Because if I can get more people on the squad and have my little tribe with me, and we out there just like taking care of folks, like, oh, you know what I mean? Because like I like literally when it comes to like giving, like I have more yarn than I know what to do with. I will literally die and not knit up the yarn that I have. Knowing that, like this yarn would do way better in other people's hands. So like I'm reaching out to like my high school friends. I'm reaching out to people who like I know, like, do you need anything? What do you need? You need yarn, you need this, you know what I mean? Give me $5 for the shipping. I'm throwing it in there tomorrow. I got you. Oh, you ain't got that? Bet I got you. Like, let me get that to you because the last thing that I want is for you to not do something because of a lack of resources. There's too much out here. We are in abundance. We are in abundance. So if we're in abundance, like there should be enough for you. You know what you need. I got you. I'll put something in the mail tomorrow. I know so much about the postal system. I've learned some things. Let's go. For real.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make a difference, you know what I mean, one stitch at a time. One stitch at a time.
I honestly believe that you are. I believe that you are. I feel like you're bringing so much joy and so much energy. I work in mental health. The amount of people who don't have a skill that if they had one skill to kind of help them get through what's going on or all these different things, they would be so much better off. And there's a part of me who's like, yeah, I can go sit and do therapy with them. But at the same time, part of me is like, I would love to teach you how to knit so that you can sit and have something to replace this with and give yourself something, you know?
And think about the next time that they come see you. Yeah. Be like, hey, look what I made. I made this.
Exactly.
Like that kind of joy, like like it's so crazy to me. Like to me, it's like alchemy, you know. But I'm not necessarily changing like the actual material of it. But you got to understand, like we got string. This is string that was made a certain color from the hair of an animal. So I can make this what used to be the same kind of purpose for the sheep, the wool on the sheep. Now I've repurposed that. Made it for me. So I got that sheep with me. I carry him with me. You know what I mean? We can bleat together forever. Let's go. Like
Let's
that
go.
is
I love
magic.
it.
That is magic to me. Like it is literally magic. Like I literally can put two needles together made of different type of materials, metal, wood, plastic, what have you. I can make those loops and sit somewhere for a finite amount of time. And after that finite amount of time, I have something different, more than what this ball could do for me. This ball is now that keeps me warm. That is sentimental value. Like this is time manifested.
Yes.
That's why it's so important. Like when people start to really understand that, we gonna move. Move mountains with that. Come on now, that's monumental.
Yeah. That sense of pride, that sense of accomplishment, and you're giving people that sense of accomplishment. You're empowered.
Yeah.
I love that word. You're empowering people. It's incredible to watch.
That's exactly what it is. Like when you empower people, they become less dependent on you. It's almost like, okay, I'm looking at you and I'm showing you. Now that you know, now you can sit on you can be shoulder to shoulder with me, and now we can go together.
Yep.
That's synergy. 1 + 1 = 1,000. You know what I mean? Like that's what synergy is. We can do way better together than we could by ourselves.
Yes.
That's what it's about. That's what Seth Godin talks about. Like I literally want to be generous in doing that for you, so we can do more things together. You know what I mean? And when you have a vision, you already know you ain't doing it by yourself. I understood that from the out the gate. Like this is way too big for just little old me. Oh no, I gotta bring some more people in. I need my squad, and then we can go get them.
Well, not just that, you're empowering people then to go empower people.
That's the game.
Yeah.
That's what this craft is all about. Like that's what I've come to learn. This craft in its essence should be when you do that. Because if you see somebody and all they gotta do is be like, hey, I want to make that too. Let's go. It started. And now you have that person has a skill that they can carry throughout their lifetime, and they can apply it in many different aspects of their life, and they can touch other people. Like that girl, her name is Caroline. I'm dropping all kinds of names up in this. But her name is Caroline. She was like, man, like she literally told me like this, like me teaching you how to knit, like seeing you grow over the years and make this what it is like one of the biggest accomplishments ever. And I was like, yo, that's love right there. Oh man, you know what I'm saying? And now if that could happen for me, can you imagine like if I reached and touched like 1,000 people, 100,000 people? How many of those 100,000 of people will catch it and do the same thing? Reach even more people. You know what I mean? It literally will become like something that just spreads all over, and like you can't lose in this game. This is a game you can't lose at. So I'm all about
100%. 100%. Let's go. I love it. I love the phrase. Let's go. I got you.
Let's go. We out here. I always tell them all of my little comments. I'm like, Uncle Willie got you. I try to like calm down, like, make it real jovial. You know what I mean? Everybody know Uncle Willie somewhere. Uncle Willie got you. I'll take care of you.
Oh man. This has been so fun. I hate to cut this short, but I do have to get going, unfortunately. But I please keep doing what you're doing. Please keep doing this, and anything I can do to help, because this is my heart, empowering people to be able to go do amazing things and to connect with other people is my heart as well. So anything I can ever do to help you, I'm happy to do that. And just all the love. I love everything that you're doing. I love your energy. I love your positivity. I love your empowerment, all of it. So
I do appreciate it. And like you doing what you're doing right now, and recording this, and we're going to share this out. We're still like, living on Mr. Golden stuff. And you doing that like really helps out. And it's not necessarily about me, because like, again, this is bigger than me. It's about the message. And if somebody can go and find somebody else that ain't me and get the same thing that I'm preaching and pushing, we still win. We still win. You know what I mean? Like, take the quote from Bruce Willis on Armageddon. We win, Gracie. We win. You know what I mean? Like, he said we win. Like, he took himself out on the rock, but everybody else got to win. Like, I feel the same way. As long as you make it, as long as we just keep like sending love. Like this is love in string. You know what I mean? We do that
love right
we
here.
win all day,
Yep.
all day.
It's true.
But you take it. I do appreciate you.
Good. I'm so glad. This is like I said, I felt like I had you when I was knitting my hat. I felt like I had you with me. And every time I put on my hat, it makes me smile too, because it makes me think of you and all the good that you're doing.
See, that's what it is. Oh.
So, well, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and end our recording.